We've got Matt Reeves, who's been on with us before, an all-state agent who handles all things insurance. And Matt, I have to be honest with you, I've had lots of questions over the last few months as I have bought insurance through you, and you have always been very responsive, and you've given me answers that were easy for me to understand. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. We're excited to be here.
What determines the cost of homeowners insurance? Now, I would assume that it has something to do with the insurance carrier's risk or losses in a certain area. But like, what goes into determining the cost of homeowners insurance? Because I think the cost of homeowners insurance in the state of Georgia has gone up a good bit in the last 10 years.
Yeah, you'll certainly see that it has a lot. There's a lot of factors that are going to go into that. First and foremost, as everybody has seen in their policies that they've gotten renewals so far this year, and they're going to be coming year in the coming days or coming months to this year. Rebuild cost of labor, cost of lumber. You've seen this in the real estate community for months.
Yes.
Starting to normalize a little bit, but it is still we're catching up to that. And
it costs a lot more to rebuild something now than it did 2.5 years ago. I did read that the cost of lumber is just about back down to where it was pre-pandemic. Don't quote me on that, but that's exciting news for everybody. So, okay, replacement costs go up, increases the cost of insurance. How do natural disasters affect, and we don't have too much of that in Atlanta, but certainly like along the coast in Florida, they suffer when it comes to insurance costs. How do natural disasters get figured into the cost of insurance?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be obviously the biggest output that any carrier is going to have at one point in time would be from such disasters. And fortunate enough, we and the bulk of the state in generalities dodged a good bullet with Ian.
Yes.
We're obviously thinking of our friends to the south in Florida that are rebuilding.
Oh, man.
Hurricanes like that, tropical storms, tornadoes that come in and create a path because most of those losses are big time losses. It's not a small loss of a new roof or anything like that. Not that that's not important, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in a community to where that pooled money and that pooled loss certainly does, come back, and it has to be shared upon all the homeowners at the upcoming renewals.
In that risk pool, and I would assume all of your risk pools are limited by states because each state's laws are different. So you have to be licensed to sell insurance in that state, and it's regulated by somebody in that state. So, you don't think about, I've never been in a natural disaster. My basement flooded in 2009. I felt like that was a natural disaster. But I was talking to somebody who lives in Fort Myers, and they said, hey, I'm going to be on this call. I may or may not be able to pay attention. Schools haven't gotten started yet. I don't have any daycare. And I was just thinking, hey, you know what? Forget all the destruction of the personal stuff. It just totally upends people's lives. So certainly we send, heartfelt good wishes to everybody who suffered in the state of Florida and really anywhere else around the world. Real quickly, if with the market changing so much, and I know prices are not going up as fast as they were, and we've got about 2 minutes left in this segment, does it make sense to review your homeowner's insurance policy pretty much every year? I think a lot of people have exposure, meaning they don't have enough insurance to replace their property if it were to burn down today because the property values and the cost to replace it have gone up so much. But I also am not an insurance expert. Give me your opinion on that.
Absolutely. And, what commonplace is because we pay our auto insurance directly out of pocket, it's much more piece of front of mind. And it's much easier for you to call and talk with your agent about reviewing your auto policy because you're seeing that come out of your account monthly. The one you don't see is that because with most homeowners, it comes out of your escrow account.
That's right.
So you're not check. You don't think about it. And it's always something to review because things may have changed in your household that you don't think you need to have told your homeowner's insurance agent. New occupant living in your house, you've changed your marital status, things like that can need to be updated on your policy to make sure, God forbid, you do have that loss, the proper amount of coverage is afforded for you.
Wow, I never thought about that, but you are exactly right. I don't think about my personal homeowner's insurance the way I think about automobile insurance. The truth is, Matt, if I have to confess, I don't think about any of the insurance as much as I should, and I probably should be reviewing all policies on everything at least once a year. My question for you, and I do not expect an answer, would be if somebody called you and said, hey, do I have all of the coverages that you would recommend? Can you help me find holes where I might have some additional exposure? Is that something you could help people with?
Would love to.
Awesome.
And even if it's not a policy of ours or a policy of our carrier, it's something that we would love to do because we want to make sure all of our listeners are protected and make sure that we're giving them the best advice we can.
Awesome. You are always such a great guest. Will you come back soon?
Absolutely.